Welcome back, Solid Gamers, to week 43 of the main account and 3 months, so week 12 of the farming guide account. Let's get into it. So we've just had a double drop event over the last 3 days, which has helped massively. Right, 51 shards of Veers. And because we're doing 2 accounts, we'll go through all the dailies and we're just going to briefly go over what we're doing on the account. So we finished off the Jedi Knight Revan requirements. We managed to get the mission 7 stars. Other things that we've 7 starred or unlocked, we've got Pia up to 6 stars, 5 stars. We've got Dark Trooper going, we've got Veers up to 50 shards, into the favourite set, halfway to getting Bosk. We've added Rose into the favourites and got her up to 6 stars, along with Resistance Zero Finn up to almost 5 stars. And then we're doing 8th Brother. We've almost got 3 stars on Juhani and almost unlocked Bastila Shan. So the reason we're doing 8th Brother, we took Droideka out the favourites list because yes, he has a bounty hunter ship, but he's not a requirement for Executor. So we're taking him out to save a wee bit of energy. So we're on this node to get IG-88 ship. So that's the main focus. The secondary focus is we'll get 8th Brother. So that's the script there with the ships. Looking at the ships then, we're still farming Slave 1. Who's up at 5 stars possibly if we get a drop. And we get him into 5 stars once. And then into our sports. We've got our Dash Rendar at 6 stars. We've brought Mara Jade up to 3 stars, Relic 3. And looking at our JC, we've got Relic 3 both ways, as well as we gear 12 Palpatine, and we have almost Relic Vet Chewie. And we're on our last Salamander tree as well, so they too are slow farms. If we've got spare energy, I'll bring them up, but I'm trying to get the next requirement. So the next Cantina farm will be Canderous, because I think it's not just signal data that we're running out of for relics. I think it's also these. Not too bad actually. Oh, we've got enough to take Jedi Ray. Just line her up to Relic 4. So we're still okay, so we'll probably farm her up, see how far we can get her. Even if we could take them both to Relic 5, that would be ideal. And we could try and take Poe to Relic 5 as well. Something good. So looking here in the Grand Arena, we 1-1 Boss 1. So errors on my part on the first one, I believe, was it? No, I managed to full clear. I dropped a battle somewhere, did I? I know I couldn't clear these ships. I never dropped any battles, but I couldn't clear these ships. So that was a problem there. And then I full cleared my second opponent, who had 3 million GP. So just a wee look at the account. He never played. I full cleared him, but he never played, so we got the win there. Right, so we're going to review 3 months on the Farming Guide account, but before we do that, we're going to do Jedi Knight Revan, finish him off, and then go up and 7-star Grandmaster Yoda. That's the plan there. So, ideally what you want to do is do stuff like middle ability for Bastard, Revan, and then send Revan in here. He's got, I think this is damage immunity, no. So he needs to be critically hit 3 times to get rid of that. There we go. So all the debuffs in. Bring it up. Good. Let's do this. Reset. Passing through the it's not plus we've got them at gear, mostly gear 12 minus missions, so more than here. Feel clear. 7-star Jedi Knight Revan. Just activate him. Take him up to 85 actually. here already. So that's not too bad. We don't have enough gear, so we managed to get him to be like 7 or 8. 7. So, what is it we can? Excuse me, it's 1:30 in the morning here, so apologies for yawning if it's caught on the camera, not on the mic. Yeah, so we'll get out of this one. And then once we get into gear 8, we'll get this one. This one isn't as good, so we'll just wait out on that one. We'll take the 90 crystals. We'll start replenishing those crystals back up after the event. We've spent quite a few. There's an event on just now for getting Phoenix and Ahsoka shards. And you should get a 7-star Ahsoka fulcrum out of it. So we've got Jedi Knight Raven, now we'll fire over and we'll get Grandmaster Yoda at 7 stars. So even without mods, we could just go like this. Just a mix match of Jedi. It's not particularly difficult, this event. You can get it done with level 51 gear 7 Jedi. There's a reason this is on the first tier. So that's his cleaned up Yoda. We've got our 1,000,000 crystals for it. So pretty straightforward, nice and simple. Once you get it, the long time for that event is getting the shards for the mission in Zalbar take the longest. So if we look at our Assault Battle team now, we've got our 4th character at 7 stars, and we've decided to bring him up ready for the Jedi Knight Raven team. So, goals on this account over the next week or so. Fire out these ones here, which will mean that we'll start closing off some of the farms for like Bosk and Rose. We'll get an Assault Battle team. Just quickly check here. Excuse me. And we've got Resistance Hero Pool now at 6 stars, so we'll get looking good there. And let's just fire that 6th star on him. So we're prioritising Resistance Hero Pool over Finn at the moment because we're getting Piet. So the gear here, we'll go to Poe and get him to gear 12 before we go Finn. So we'll go Poe, Rose and then Finn out of this team. And that's why I put the Chirotech on Poe as well. We should finish off mission to gear 12 once we get the raid rewards. And ship wise, we're still focusing on using these ships, but going forward we're farming out Slave 1 and TIE Advanced, and we'll need to switch in to get Escamando and TIE Bomber, and currently doing IG-88. So and that's the plan there. We need to move on to doing Juhani. So out of these two, Bastila and Juhani's first to be farmed on the hard modes. I'm in two minds whether or not to focus more on the ships, but we're going to do Veers and Piet first, and then along with Dark Troopers, so sort of finish off the Troopers, gear them up and try and relic them, and try and relic this team as well, and then we'll work on Darth Revan requirements. So else we're gearing these teams up, we'll be farming these teams up. Excuse me. I will probably take Revan to Relic and then leave him, maybe Relic 3, Relic 5, and of the intention of relicking out Bastila, Jolee, even Juhani and Grandmaster Yoda. So eventually then we'll get Darth Malak, we'll get Vader up to gear 12 and into the relics, and then once we've done all that, we'll focus on our Inquisitors, or we'll come back to actually no, we won't do that. We'll start farming our Ewoks so we can get 3PO and make the raid team even stronger. So that's the plan there. Not quite 2 million GP, but not far off it. If we got more gear levels on Jedi Knight Revan, then it would have done better. But apart from that, that's all I have so far for this account. I'm going to pause a second, switch accounts, and I will be back once I'm on the other account. And I'm back logging in with Emperor's Wrath. So this is the Farming Guide account, 3 months in. So I was thinking, what do I want to do with this account? Do I just want to do the Farming Guide up to 85 and then leave it there? Do I want to continue it on? And what would bring in more content for the viewers? So I thought I would do this with money spent. So as a sort of comparison and difference, so I took the account to level 81, and then I decided, because I'm going to be paying for the account, I'm going to hyperdrive, and then I'm going to show people what the hyperdrive was all about and what we got and what it does, even doing it at level 81. So if we look into our mail, we get these contributions. Come back to that in a second. We'll pick up our 5 stars of Dark Trooper. Right, so hyperdrive bundle. When I received this 10 hours ago, I received 5,000 tokens, 2,000 crystals, 5,000 basically of all shop currency, 20 million credits, and all these characters. Now the characters is the main thing. So prior to doing the hyperdrive, I had 7-star the second row there, I had unlocked the 5 stars but I hadn't activated them with the Phoenix through the event. Didn't do really anything with the game. 7 star all the CLS requirements and row 1 Cassian Andor stuff. Qui-Gon, I had got Bastila to 6 stars, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what happens when you get the hyperdrive bundle is you get all these characters but you don't get the shard shop currency for what you farm. So if you're over 5 stars, it won't give you anything for the characters, so you lose out on them. If you're less than 5 stars, it will take you up to 5 stars in level 80 in gear 8 or 7. Gear 8. So you'll save in terms of gear and training mats and credits, but you will lose out on shard shop currency. My hope was that I would get shard shop currency, that's why I done it earlier on rather than on video, because I was hoping to get the 8,000 pack in the store with the 330 shards of a character to get me going, but that wasn't to be. No shard shop currency given. So I done a bit of maintenance on the account. The biggest take from the hyperdrive bundle of these ships that I'm looking at now, and that's Slave 1, Cad Bane and IGA. So as you can see, they're a lot further ahead than they are on our main account, and that's simply given to us. We don't need to do anything, and the characters are the same: gear 8, level 50, level 80, and 5 stars. So we get the Ghost and Phantom as well, and then we get 10 Zetas, a load of training mats, and a load of gear, which is great, and then of course 2,000 crystals, which isn't too shy. So going forward, this is our biggest spend on the account. Going forward, what we'll do in this account is we're still following the farming guide. So pre-level 85 we were farming out CLS, Yoda, Jedi. We ended up doing Rogue One fleet, so I'll put out another video at some point just reviewing the farming guide and sort of what I discovered doing it, and where to prioritise depending on what happens, because some of it is RNG based. So once you're level 85 you were to then unlock Jedi Knight Revan. So I've sped that up by a month. I might have been closer to him to getting Jedi Knight Revan requirements done if I didn't hyperdrive, because I've almost finished Bastila on this account. I've got Jolie up to 5 stars. Missions lagging on this as well, so she's at coming up for 6 stars. Zalbar is pretty much 6 stars. Yep, yeah, 6 stars. So a hyperdrive bundle basically gives you half the requirements for free. The bonus being is that we've already done T7, so you just need gear. And then we've got our Wampa farming up. And in terms of teams, GAC teams on this account, we're going for the Qui-Gon army, the Iden army, and because we're doing a home 1 fleet, we're doing the Adrad army. So 3 Omicrons for GAC, and this is defensive. I'm just going to take a drink. So prior to hyperdriving, we had got this up to 7 stars. So this is all pre-hyperdrive, the gear. I just put these abilities up. Same with Jyn. I just put the abilities up. She's ready to go up in gear, but I'm saving up on the gear now. Same with Cassian, and same with K2. Adrad is still getting farmed. So anybody unfamiliar with Adrad, that's Admiral Radis, and that's just so just a quick way of saying it. So then we've got a CLS, and I've taken Commander Luke straight to gear 12. and then I already had the rest of them set in gear 10. So I took Chupio to gear 11, and then when I 7-star him, I should have the Chirotex to take him to gear 12. Old Ben is currently sitting at gear 10, again we'll take him to gear 12. R2, gear 10, we'll take him to gear 12. I'm not putting any Zetas on quite yet. And then I've got Mon Mothma Rebels. I've managed to use the shards and double drops to bring Kyle Katarn all the way up to 220 shards. So I'm just going to see where that takes us. So this is going to be early GEC teams, which is why I'm trying to focus on the particular ones. Also working on complete. So 60% left to get on Kyle Katarn to 7 stars. So we're winning on that aspect. Level 51 Grandmaster Yoda, that's the level that we completed the event at. We've got 27 shards of Vader, so we'll need to buy some and get some achievements done. Mara Jade's almost unlocked, and this will be, and we've already obviously 7-starred Palpatine, we just need to put the work in, so that'll be our third. So these are our 3 offensive teams, and then at the top is our 3 defensive teams, just to begin with. Now the Omicrons aren't going to be on straight away, because we only have, I think Iron's the best one to look at for that. So we only have 9 out of 20. I could put this Zeta on, but I really don't need to at this stage. I'm just being very limited in what I'm using. So I brought up this team up to level 80. I still need to bring up these up to level 80 and finish off Kenobi. Don't know if I've got... Nope, no more currency. So take him to 7 stars, and they'll all get gear 12. Once they hit gear 7 stars. Mon Mothma is definitely going to need a Zeta. And same with Vader. So that's why I'm holding off on the Zetas at this stage. We no longer have Galactic War to go through, so it's a bit easier than that. And we've got the 3 main bounty hunters. Now I think, usually if you're doing an executor rush, this is what you want to do. You want to use these to get Chewie. And that's because Bossk is needed to pilot Slave 1, which is one of the best, if not the best tank ships at least, in the game. And then Jango Fett is on that node for farming Slave 1, as you would Houndstooth, as you'd remember. So I'm doing it on the main account. So it makes sense for these ones to be used. Now the reason we would use these ones are also because of pilots. And on this account we most definitely need not Executor, but Han's Millennium Falcon. But instead of using these 2, we're going to go to the Bounty Hunters, and we're going to use Chrysanthemum as a tank, and Mando. So I'm going to put Boba lead, and we'll put Chrysanthemum. We could do and Mando, and there's a reason we're using Mando. We could technically take these out. Actually, we could use House Leia because of the we're going for Jabba, but just for simplicity, because we're going to need Mando for another reason, and I'll show you that in a second. So we'll do Mando in these lot, and Chrysanthemum's tank, because ideally we need a tank for getting Chewie. So I thought, instead of gearing Bossk, which doesn't really have a place in the journey at this stage, albeit that the ship's good, we'll get the ship eventually and Bossk leveled up, but right now we don't need to to rush them because we're not going for executor on this account. We're going to go for profundity as part of the plan. Therefore, we'll use Chrysanthemum as a tank because he's a requirement for Jabba. Mando just because his disintegrate is ridiculous. And then Boba is a requirement for Jabba. Cad Bane is Hutt Cartel. IG-88 has a ship, and so does Cad Bane. And to get Han's Millennium Falcon, we need 5 ships. Which brings me on to the ships themselves. We're still doing the Rebel fleet, building that up, as well as the Bounty Hunter fleet, so we're starting to farm that out. But we're also, for our 4th ship, so is it 4 ships? I would have to double check that. So we've got Slave 1, let's just change it to Bounty Hunters. Brain Fog. So we need 4 ships. And what, instead of using Houndstooth, we're going to use Razor Crest to get them done. So that's the priority there. To get Razor Crest, we would then have to farm out the Beskar Mando requirements, because we'll need to unlock the Razor Crest at 7 stars to get Han's Millennium Falcon, which will help play into the Executor farm later on down the line. As you see here, if we begin journey, we've got 4 out of 5 requirements. So the first one being the capital ship, we've got then 3 bounty hunter ships, and we need 1 more, it's saying 5. Now it's not very clear when you look at it, and it just says bounty hunter ships at 1 star and any capital ship at 1 star. And yes, requirements will go forward. So that's what we'll use that for. And then that saves us taking out our farms for Houndstooth. And we'll hopefully unlock Han's Millennium Falcon by the time we get home 1 to 7 stars. We'll have Han's Millennium Falcon in the bag. We could do Jedi Knight Raven on this account right up until about 5 stars, because we have them unlocked, but we don't have, we have them unlocked, but we don't have the gear on them other levels. Same with Chewie, we have the characters unlocked, but they're not really going to do much because we've not done enough work on them. So that's the plan there. We're still going for Starkiller, so we've almost got 7 star Kyle Katarn. We're working on Mara Jade, who'll be the longest one, Dash, and then Darth Talon. That's the plan there. As you can see, we've already got Yoda, Palpatine, R2, CLS, and we've done some on Padme. Technically we could go up and try and get her, but she's not relevant to the journey. But Beskar Mando is. So once we finish Jedi Knight Raven, we'll move on to Beskar Mando and start finishing off our CLS team. And then once we've got Starkiller, we'll move on to Jedi Knight Luke. So once we should finish, hopefully finish Wampa tomorrow, because Wampa is at 6, sorry, later on tonight, he's at 35 out of 100. Depending on the get 1 currency, we will then be able to get 7 star him, which would then lead us to get Hodo, and he'll work into our Jedi Knight Raven team. So our place filler for Jedi Knight Raven is Mace Windu on this side, and then once we unlock Hodo, he'll go in his replace. And that is the plan for Jedi Knight Luke, and keeps the plan together. Now, I said it was pay to play for this account, so it's not to say, oh look, I could spend money, and it's not to say free to play is better, or hyperdrive or pay to play is better. Of course you could progress faster, but you'll see different road bumps for spending to free to play. Mainly you'll progress character shards maybe faster, but you'll lack up more on gear and credits on the pay to play account, whereas on the free to play account the character shards will come slower, but your credits and stuff will pick up a wee bit quicker depending on how much you're farming and how much you're hoarding crystals. So to move forward on the account, what we'll be doing is no more than £20, which works out about $23–25 a month maximum. Sometimes we won't spend anything at all, but sometimes we will, and that's going to buy stuff. So we have got the special trope pack, so we don't have enough shard shop currency, but if you can get it, it's good value. I forgot to mention that on the main account. The main account got 330 shards of Bad Batch Echo. We managed to get it. I didn't realise it was one purchase only, so I got a load of shard shop currency and missed out. So in terms of paying to play, we could do stuff like the large galactic enhancement, so that's under our $20, and it'll give us a load of resources, as well as even this one would work, but mainly it'll focus around crystals, either the £10 pack or the £20 pack each month, depending on my own finances and the game's requirements. Now, if we're fortunate enough and play the fleet game well, I'll be able to say it for Grand Arena on this. We're 92 out of 100. 92 in the top 100 now, and looking at the fleets, I think we could be easily pushed down with a bit of tweaking into the top 50, top 20, because we've got no executors. We've got a Thrawn, and we've got some other hyperdrive bundles. That's the benefit here as well, is that we have a hyperdrive bundle now, so hopefully we could push these ones down, get to top 50, top 20, and you'll get 50 to 100 crystals a day. Then maybe hopefully when we're really lucky, get to the top 10, top 5, really start ramping up, and that would stop us having to buy, or not having to buy, but looking to buy crystals, because there's no point ordering thousands of crystals and never spending them. Yeah, so what we might do is buy stuff like, if we go to Hans Millennium Falcon, shop for requirements, bought Houndstooth. So I know it's over the £20 mark, but that's the exception to the rule, only that pack. And that's just because it gives you the boost for Bosk and Houndstooth, and it gives crystals and gear. And it's the best value of the character packs that you could sort of probably get. But because we're not going for Bosk straight away, I'm in no position to really want to buy that. Let's just have a look to see what else. So, Kristantan Han, Morian Guard, Outrider, Greedo, which is fine, Skiff Guard, Jedi Knight, Luke, Jawa, Rooster, 3PO, Bowslea, Order Sign, Fennec Shand. So Fennec Shand's in the Jabba requirements, which makes going after Beskar Mando a great option, because we could pair Beskar Mando, Fennec, and then some other scoundrels together and to farm out a team there, Cobra and then Mob. So it should work in quite well, along with Starkiller. The reason, so we'll also go for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, because he'll fit into our Jedi teams. and we'll pick up other things along the way because it's going to be a long time before we get Jedi Knight Luke. So this is the 3-month mark. We're still going to review this maybe once every fortnight, maybe fortnight to month, depending if there's anything big happening. I might put out a poll to see what everybody wants. If you want more of this content and more comparisons, I'm happy to do so. If you want once a month like I have been doing for the past 3 months, then that's totally fine as well. I'll cater to the majority. So we're going for a Rebel fleet, which will then open up the prerequisites, which we've already got 5 out of 14 prerequisites for profundity, but we don't have the actual requirements. So we've got the Relic 9, Relic 8, but if you look here, and this is why you should look at a journey when you're starting a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes account. You should come in here once you open the journey guide and think, what do I want to use and where do I want to end up? Now it's not going to be as easy as that, and there'll be plenty of low-hanging fruit and carrots dangling for you to change your mind, but stay focused and then find out a path that you want to do. So we're going down the Jedi Knight Luke route to get Jabba, possibly Leia, and Jedi Master Luke. So 3 Galactic Legends could be potentially farmed out of that sort of initial farm. In doing so, we're also opening up, we need to get Rebel Fleet, so we need to get Han's Millennium Falcon, and we need to get Wedge up to 7 stars as well as Home 1, and I think it's specifically Home 1. It's not just a random capital ship. No, it's any capital ship, but it's got to be these 2. Any capital ship, but Han's Millennium Falcon and Wedge. So that put me on the path of I'll do a Rebel fleet. Doing the Rebel fleet early on gets you quite good chance of coming top in fleet if you could work it right with Ravensclaw. So, and these requirements also tie in quite well elsewhere in the path. So we went for the Rogue One to start that off. So the Rogue One squad that we're currently building will have Admiral Raddus, Cassian, Jyn, K2, Biston. So that's all the requirements. We're going to get Starkiller. We'll use Mon Mothma for Starkiller, which for Rebel Fighters with Kyle Katarn, which will utilise both Mon Mothma and get our Starkiller. So that's another requirement. We're getting Starkiller, so we're getting Dash Rendar. So we just need to get his ship. Then we'll get Hera, and now Hera's the only Phoenix member that we need. But we also need to get Ghost, so we'll be as well getting Phoenix along the way. We're doing Rebel fleets. We've already started the farms out for these ones. So if we look here, Biggs is almost done. Wedge is getting there. Biston and Cassian's getting there. Ghost won't take too long, and then it's just these 2 ships. So in terms of ships, we won't have much at all. It's the relic levels which will be the big thing. So the biggest problem will be Relic 9, which is why I could think about doing this early on, because I'm doing pay to play. So if I do end up buying extra crystals over the, if I don't place high in fleet, or if I could build a stash of crystals, I'll go in shipments and I'll buy Droid Brains shipments to get my Relic 9 and potentially even Aero Magnifiers depending on the raid situation. So that's the plan there. Now in terms of currency, we've got 5,000 of each currency, so it means that we could easily 7-star a lot of these characters. Already doing IG-88. We've got loads of war currency, and I'm only buying Cad Bane or ships. Fleet Arena, I'm only buying the requirements for the Rebel fleet at the moment, and Vader to 7-star them. So there's your pros and cons for doing hyperdrive, the biggest thing is pay attention to what you've already farmed. If you've got a lot of stuff in the hyperdrive bundle for characters that you've already farmed, then you're going to miss out on that shard shop currency for doing it. So it could be more beneficial to go hyperdrive bundle right at the start and then do the farming guide, and pick up from sort of level 85 and look at what you need to go. You can get CLS, get Yoda, get Palpatine, get Jedi Knight Raven farmed out, bounty hunters, and in no particular order, but you could do that, but you don't get Iden and you only get some troopers. If you were hyperdrive bundling straight from the start, I would recommend, if following the farming guide, go for the original troopers, which is Veer's led troopers. That would be more beneficial, and potentially, depending on where you drop in fleet, go for Executor off a hyperdrive bundle rather than Profundity, and that's simply because you get more towards Executor than you do Profundity on the hyperdrive bundle. So because I'm doing a rebel fleet, I'm not really bothered for getting the Malevolence or the Negotiator. So contrary to popular opinion, a lot of YouTubers out there recommend getting 7-star Negotiator, 7-star Malevolence with your get to currency as soon as possible, or at least unlocking them. That's great. The only one I would recommend getting is Negotiator out of the two, and that regardless of what fleet you want to start with, and that is because Grievous at this current stage is difficult to farm. He's only really worthwhile farming out the fleet arena, and he doesn't come around very often. I farmed him for 2.5 months, and I've only got under 70 shards of him out of an 80 shard unlock. And you can't start getting this currency until level 65, and then you can't start using it till level 85. So there's your other problem. Negotiator, however, is a better Galactic Republic fleet ship, and if you're going for gas, it's a must. So if you're going for General Anakin Skywalker, buy the Negotiator as soon as you hit level 85. Spend all your get to currency on that. So what do we get on? What do we spend this get to currency on if we're not getting stuff like Negotiator? Quite simply, Kyrotechs. That's the main thing that we'll get, and then any other sort of injector head salvage, Mark 12 plus gear that we'll need to relic off our characters. I wouldn't really get late Rebel Rolo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, unless you really need to finish off a farm. But mainly spend it on Kyrotechs and really get that Kyrotech crunch. So if you see here, I've got 3 characters that need Kyrotechs currently, and I'm getting 5 at every refresh roughly. And I'm getting 4,000 to 5,000 current. What we're getting rewards wise. So we're doing a little bit less, and we've not had as good a participation this time around as we did last time, I don't think. So we get 2,500, say 3,000 currency per month. So that's a lot of Kyrotechs at 500 for 5. So think of it as sort of like 60 Kyrotechs a month extra from doing so, if it was only Kyrotechs that you were farming. So that's what I would recommend there, and that's where our money will go. So we'll get to currency will go. Let's just do a guild search, and I can tell you if we're hitting the same stars or less. So view my guild. So we're hitting 27 on Hoth and 9 on Geonosis. So we're slightly less, but not far off. We should hit by the end of play today, 14 hours. So I've only got 66 out of 80 shards of Grievous. If you didn't hit that there, we should hopefully hit the 2 stars there. And we're not going to hit 2 stars there. And we should hopefully hit 1 star there. So we might just hit 9 stars. If we hit 9 stars, we get, just double check the rewards again. We've walked through the 3000 currency, so we'll see what happens. So that is the overview of the accounts. So I'll put a poll out over the next couple of days and ask your opinion of how often you want to see this happen. Go. So I was at just a quick side note. I was at 600,000 GP before I hyperdrived at level 81. I'm now at 1.1, so you get roughly 500,000 GP at the start, but you get a lot of gumph that you may not use. But you get your Night Sisters activated, all the characters that we didn't have activated, but you get the 2 big ones that you get is your Clone Troopers, and you get your Night Sisters. So the Night Sisters you get are as follows. So that's going to be a team, again following our assault battle teams. That's why we're building up these. So that'll be my primary focus alongside your Dynamite Revan, and then we'll move on to the rest of the stuff. So we can get the assault battles going and get the Chirotechs going. The more Chirotechs, the quicker the farms, the quicker the relics, and fall into another problem with bottlenecks from there on. So that's for the sort of half speedy review of the 2 accounts, plan moving forward. Apologies for yawning throughout the video, it's very late, so I can only apologise for that. Next time I will hopefully do the video a lot earlier, and then that way it'll be a lot less yawning. Thanks for watching and stay solid.